Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Okay.
Wonderful.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to the podcast. It's me, Ashay, and today we have an amazing person here with us. She's Brittany, and let me give introduction about her. She is from like she's currently a Mulesoft developer, but what's interesting about her story is she's from a medical background, and then she transitioned her career from a medical domain to a technology sector, and that's what makes her an inspiring person. So over to you, Brittany. Can you tell us about your background and how you found out about this opportunity?
Sure. My background, I have no IT background for starters.
Yeah.
Went to college. I have a bachelor's degree in biology, and my concentration is in microbiology.
Okay.
Went to work, got certified to work in medical laboratory science. Basically, what that is, when you give a sample to your doctor or they take blood from you in the hospital, they send it to the lab testing. So that's what I would do. And it was very interesting, very analytical. You take a lot of factors into consideration. You're helping the doctor figure out what's wrong with the patient. So yeah, we uh, we help we help make the diagnosis. So it felt good. It's very technical, a lot of information to know. You're always learning new things too, always new things, new processes, new microbes, new classifications, and you know that you're helping people. So I really, really enjoyed that about my job. Um,
Nice.
yeah. So what prompted me to consider leaving my field? Um, I loved my work, loved helping people, but my family was kind of pushed to the side because long hours,
Mm-hmm.
demanding, had a long commute. And my husband is actually a software developer, um,
Okay.
and he works from home. And he had
Yep.
an opportunity with his company to work with Mulesoft. So he
Right.
learned it earlier this year,
Mm-hmm.
and he got certified. And I started to get curious, like, what are you doing? What's that?
Yeah.
No idea. And it was very interesting how I started to understand that a lot of what I do on a computer I take for granted, and understanding what goes on behind the screen when I'm
Mm-hmm.
using applications. It was like,
I can understand. I get that
yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
And when I started to understand how much is happening behind there
Mm-hmm.
and the logic that has the logical steps that you have to go through, how things start to function, my mind got very interested. I
Mm-hmm.
like to know why things are happening. So I thought, this self paced course is free. It can't
Yeah.
hurt to take a
Yep.
look. So I actually started learning MuleSoft this past March, the beginning of March. And I was working my full time job at that point. So devote maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 to 4 times a week, just
Mm-hmm.
watching the videos, doing some walkthroughs. It's
Okay.
I liked the hands on aspect. I liked
And
doing things.
yeah, and you
So,
did all this alone, or you were in a class-based
uh,
system?
no, I wasn't part of a class. No.
Oh, so
Um,
that's pretty amazing. Like you were quite motivated to learn this thing.
oh, I'm determined.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
don't, I don't want to give up. I, once I get interested in something, I want to understand it, and I'm not satisfied to have like surface level understanding. I want
Mm-hmm.
to know, really thoroughly understand what it is that's being discussed. But um, so I did the learning kind of on my own, self paced. Actually, went through self paced course twice, um,
Okay.
to really let things solidify. Because as I started to learn the MuleSoft, I realized, oh, I should learn some other things to help, like
Mm-hmm.
what's JSON, XML,
Yeah.
things like that. I didn't have
Right.
that foundation. So
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
just to give the context to the listeners, when you
mhm,
enroll to the Mulesoft training program, they teach you all about Mulesoft, but it's a prerequisite that you might have knowledge of Java and JSON or HTML.
mhm,
So, like as Brittany is saying, she also learned about those things.
yeah.
So this
So
is the path of a newbie. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's the gauntlet. It, but it was very interesting because
Mm-hmm.
those pieces coming in, I started to understand further, and that's actually something. Jim Andrews with the Houston MuleSoft meetups. I actually had this discussion with him
Right.
earlier this year, and he was
Mm-hmm.
telling me, what might be helpful for somebody new coming in, and that was
Okay.
a few of the things that he recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so after I started in March, kept doing it when I had free time outside of work.
Mm-hmm.
Was reading the MuleSoft official documentation for things for extra information. I got in touch with Whitney Alcanola. So she's one of the MuleSoft mentors. I connected with her on LinkedIn, was asking her, kind of picking what information, what advice can you give me?
Yeah.
Um, and
I
she
mean, I
actually
also
published,
remember like when we connected, you reached out to me and asked what
yeah.
can I do to get into software development learning.
Hmm.
And I was also amazed, like you are yourself only asking, so it means you are really curious about knowing this stuff.
Hmm.
So that's a good quality to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. I would like to think that um, I can get advice from other people who obviously know a lot more than me, and that
Hmm.
will help me to maybe avoid harder ways to learn
Yeah.
something.
Are you a
Um,
Harry Potter fan?
oh, I'm sorry. What?
Are you a Harry Potter fan? Do you watch those films, Harry Potter?
Oh, yeah. I watched that was popular. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
So
watched them.
in that Dumbledore says to Harry, like anyone can get help at Hogwarts, but they have to ask for it.
Yeah.
So, you did the same thing. You just asked for it and you got help.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the part of what I really enjoyed about learning
Hmm.
MuleSoft is that even though I'm physically myself at home learning,
Hmm.
the the availability of connecting to other people in MuleSoft is
Yeah.
very present with the MuleSoft
Yeah.
meetups. I attended several of those, very
Hmm.
welcoming. That there's very much an atmosphere where you can ask questions and get feedback.
Hmm.
So I've really appreciated that.
Yeah.
So in a sense, I wasn't learning on my own in that respect.
Hmm.
I just wasn't part of a like study group or class in the
Right.
traditional sense.
In
Um,
this scenario, I also love the stuff MuleSoft is doing. I mean, there are competitors in integration domain like Dell Boomi and
mhm,
TIBCO Business Works, but they have not built a community around it. What MuleSoft has done is they marketed their product really well, and they also cared about their developers. And they organize
mhm.
these meetups where like-minded people can meet each other and share their knowledge. This type of community activity does not happen with other companies, so I love their people-centric nature. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was great. And several people who are involved with MuleSoft meetups, they also have information on YouTube
Hmm.
that helped a lot to
Yeah.
just sit down and take some notes, listen to them. They do demos. So it really helped me beyond the course, what was offered there, to understand better as well. Um,
Right.
I did leave my full time job. August
Oh,
1st was my last day.
okay.
And whole month of August and until now, I learned MuleSoft full time. So
Hmm.
we, my husband and I, he is a blessing. He is very supportive. We
Okay.
saved up some money, and I just concentrated on that and any other things besides that that would help me to understand. And
Right.
that was huge. So, yeah.
Nice. So, regarding like coming to the technology, like what do
Mhm.
you like about the mules of technology, the problem it's solving, and all that?
I I really enjoyed seeing the entire development process from the whole life cycle. it really helps me to understand, like, okay, you can recognize something that you want to do, and
Mm-hmm.
you can start from the scratch, the very
Right.
beginning,
Yeah.
and just develop it the whole way through, all the way till it's
Mm-hmm.
deployed and you can apply the policies, everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really appreciated that because
Yeah.
it it's not just where you learn one piece of it and then you're not sure what happens before or after that. It's the whole thing. Um, I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
considering joining the hackathon that's going on right now
Oh,
for Mulesoft. So yeah,
okay. Where is that?
they've mentioned it several times on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I can
I'll have
send you
to
that
I'll
link.
have to dig.
Uh,
Okay, yeah, that's better. Just share it with
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but that looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect to win, but I feel like it'd be a great challenge for me personally to find
Yeah.
something that I would like. Because APIs you can apply to lots of things. You're just
Mm-hmm.
getting information from somewhere and using it for something and providing it to somebody else who doesn't access the back. So
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Mm,
there's a
mm,
lot of ability to solve lots of problems.
yeah. So, uh, so like, also wanted to know this thing, like from your background, since you have worked in the medical industry, at some point of time, did you come around problems where you had a lot of data and you really wanted all that data in one place from multiple sources? So, do you see somewhere MuleSoft helping you in the future, maybe in some similar situations?
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that. It might be helpful. I know that when I'm working on a specific test,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's easier if we have something where I can clearly see like patient's history for a long time
Right.
because there are chronic illnesses that you deal with. There's reoccurring problems that patients have,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes helping to make the diagnosis depends on that information. Like, did they travel to these certain places recently or past couple months? Um,
Okay.
we did have that where I was working. As far as me in my exact role, I
Mm-hmm.
think all that I had access to was maybe the past month or 2 months of that patient history, if I could look it up. But beyond that,
Right.
um, and of course, there's HIPAA, so you have to be
Okay.
mindful of that too. But maybe even from a microbiology standpoint, having
Yeah.
um, just an easy reference guide, maybe to different organisms that you're considering might be the culprit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of application.
Yeah. And like I'm 24 right now, and if I live for 100 another 100 years, so at that point, my 100 years medical history would be collected using MuleSoft because it would be
Ooh,
a large amount of data.
yeah, whole database.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, there's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I appreciate about this too, is that there's always something else to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I do like
Yeah.
that. So,
Right.
um, yeah.
Apart from this, any vision of the future you have regarding this technology or any other technology where you see the system going, where you see the world moving towards?
Oh wow. Well, integration, I've in the short time that I've been learning this can be such
Mm-hmm.
a challenge.
Right.
Um, and I just feel like if MuleSoft is accessible and easy enough for someone with no IT background to
Mm-hmm.
learn and understand,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that really opens doors
Mm-hmm.
to people from different backgrounds within a company that can come in, understand what's going on, and you could really give your input in a way that makes sense and is usable. Um, yeah, there's so many applications. I know that MuleSoft has a lot of partners in
Mm-hmm.
finance, healthcare, all over, and just making data more accessible
Mm-hmm.
is huge. I mean, I don't know that I could even give one example of what this would be good for because
Yeah.
it can go in so many directions. But
Yeah.
um,
So, like coming back to the point, as you said, MuleSoft has made it really easy for people to come into IT even if they don't have a background.
mhm.
So, I mean, it's quite amazing. They are providing people with this opportunity, and they're actively telling people about it. The other companies do not tell people. They do not
Mhm.
offer free courses, but we have. And even with the certifications, like they give us 2 free attempts. Like that's amazing. All
Oh,
rest
that's
other
huge.
organization, they charge you like $100 to $300, I guess.
And that's what
So
I like about the
yeah,
accessibility too. Not to interrupt you, sorry.
no, it's fine.
But even just getting started, I feel like
Mhm.
I would have not been as interested maybe if I knew I had to pay a lot of money upfront just to start learning.
Mhm.
So the fact that the self-paced, I can go at my pace, I don't feel pressured to push ahead before I understand something, and it's free. That's huge. And I will say that I was able to win 2 Mulesoft meetups and use
Okay.
those vouchers towards an instructor-led course. So I
Hmm.
didn't have to pay for that either. And that really,
Nice.
really benefited me. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that about Mulesoft. It's like their focus is really about we want people to learn
Hmm. Yeah.
and enrich themselves and understand this.
Yeah. It
So
feels like a great loving community. Everyone
yes,
should
it
grow
does.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten that feeling many times from a lot of
Yeah.
different people, and it's a worldwide experience too. So yeah,
Yeah.
connecting with people from India, from Europe, all over the place,
Hmm.
even here in America, Houston.
Hmm.
It's been really eye-opening to see all of these different people from different areas and backgrounds
Yeah.
enjoying learning this together and being
Right.
able to answer questions.
Yeah. So like you made a leap to get into technology sector and
Mhm.
learn new things. What would be your advice for others who are trying to make a similar transition but are scared maybe?
Oh, yeah. Well, fear of the unknown is can be something that really, really hampers your success.
Hmm.
And I would say it doesn't hurt to try. It really
Right.
doesn't. The
Right.
self-paced course is free. Just dive
Hmm.
into it. For me, I definitely had moments of challenge where
Hmm.
my brain felt stuck, but persistence is key.
Right.
Just be persistent, and there are so many people to reach out to. There's so many resources available.
Hmm.
Um, you know, friends of friends of Max on YouTube. Couple different MuleSoft meetup leaders have put tutorials on YouTube. Data Weave Playground.
Yeah.
The documentation's very helpful too on MuleSoft.
Hmm.
If you're determined, you can use those resources and um, you can reach the certification.
Yeah.
And don't
And
be afraid to ask.
yeah, always.
Coming back to that.
Yeah. And one more bonus tip, if you clear the certification, you get a free t-shirt from Mulesoft. So like that's also a cherry on the cake like that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I also did not know.
Oh,
Like I just one day received a mail randomly and they were like, we are sending you a t-shirt, just send your size and address. And I was happy. I'm getting a
fantastic.
t-shirt just like that. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Well, that's fun. I'll have to look forward to that and wear that in the next meetup. Just
Yeah.
yeah,
Amazing.
but it's a great experience. Don't be afraid of
Mm,
change. That's all I can
mm,
say. Yeah.
yep. I mean, a lot of time people are like in childhood, they will try a bunch of stuff, but as soon as they get adult, they try to specialize in just one thing, but they
Mhm.
lose their curiosity. So it's always better to keep on diving into different things and see what you like.
That's true. And, challenge, it can be so healthy, and then you can see what you're really capable to do if
Hmm.
you're persistent and you stick with it.
Right.
And yeah, the possibilities will open up.
Yep.
Hmm.
So I mean, that's pretty much the like you have painted a perfect picture for anyone who's trying to get into the MuleSoft domain, and I really
Hmm.
appreciate you doing this.
Oh, well, I appreciate you offering to
Yeah.
be here. That was unexpected, but I
Okay,
enjoy. If this helps someone, then it's worth it.
sure. I mean,
Hmm.
that's my goal also. maybe there is one person who will find this information quite informative, and he'll also do the same thing which you have done, and maybe it will result in them having some good opportunities. So it's win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I have more to learn, but I'm excited about it and
Hmm.
just keep going. Learning is a privilege.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, then, like, thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Yep.
much.
So